everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be recommending some holiday romance books that are perfect for this time of year. Admittedly, a lot of these are focused around Christmas, but I do have a couple that aren't, which is exciting. And if you have any recommendations that aren't Christmas focused, definitely leave them down below, or even if you have any that are, I'm sure additional recommendations would be appreciated, but specifically, I would love to have some that aren't like focused around Christmas. Over the years, I have read quite a few Christmassy, holiday, festive books, and I have found some really great ones. I've definitely read some that I haven't enjoyed so much, but I have a really solid list here of ones that I have loved and honestly would love reading again and again around this time of year. Also, happy Bookmas Day too. I definitely forgot to say that, and I also forgot to change my little date thing, so I will be right back. So now that that is all figured out, the first book that I wanted to recommend today is Let It Snow by Maureen Johnson, Lauren Myracle, and John Green. This is like a fun and quirky sort of holiday story. It's definitely not my favorite, and I think that's because like when I read the book, I really enjoyed the book. I had a fun time with it. It's 3 different like shorter stories, so they're not short stories, but it's 3 stories that end up like interconnecting and everything, and each one is written by a different author. So there are definitely like stories that I enjoyed more than others, but overall I thought it was really cool watching the stories all connect. And I think my last exposure to this was watching the Netflix adaptation, which I wasn't the hugest fan of, so I think that's why it's kind of tainted my memory of it, and I might have to reread it honestly, but I'm not selling it very well. But I think if you're a teenager, this would be a really great like Christmassy story for you to read. I think you would really like it. On that same note, My True Love Gave to Me, which is edited by Stephanie Perkins, but it is by a bunch of different YA authors, is a really great short story collection. This has 12 different short stories, so they definitely are shorter. And once again, it's one where there might be stories that you like more than others, but it is a really fun collection. I also wanted to recommend, it's not a romance, but I wanted to recommend A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens because it is just such a Christmas classic, definitely one that I think is totally worth the read, and it's one of my favorites by Charles Dickens. Now getting to the rest of the books, we have In a Holidaze by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren, my favorite author duo, really love them, and this is their first Christmas romance. It came out last year, and I was so excited about it because I was like, yes, favorite authors, favorite holiday, match made in heaven. And I did really like this one. It's kind of like a Groundhog Day situation where the main character ends up like in the same, basically she finds out that her parents are planning on selling the cabin that she has spent all of her life at, like she has spent all of her Christmases at and everything with these family friends that they get along really well, and she finds out that there's going to be selling it, and like Christmas kind of ends up taking a turn, like everything is going wrong, it's all wild and everything, and then she ends up getting into a car accident on the way to the airport and ends up waking back up like on the plane before Christmas ever even happened. So she has this chance to redo everything and keeps on going on this loop just like Groundhog Day. It was really fun to get to see like so many different Christmas activities and Christmas things happening over the course of this book because she's literally constantly reliving the holidays, and I thought the setting of this cabin was perfect. It just brought me to the snowy, cozy place, and it was a really cute romance as well. So yeah, it wasn't my favorite romance by them, but the Christmas vibes in this one were definitely there. It was very festive and fun. Next is A Holly Jolly Diwali by Sonya, Lalli. So this is a book that focuses on Diwali, which is really exciting. Like I said, trying to get different recommendations that aren't just focused on Christmas, and I felt like this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the main character, like exploring her culture and learning more about that, because she is an Indian American woman and she doesn't know all that much about her Indian side, like she doesn't know all that much about Diwali, and she's trying to learn about it, and she ends up going to India and having this whirlwind romance while also being exposed to her culture and learning more about it. And it was just such a beautiful story. I loved seeing like more behind what Diwali is and learning about it and getting to see how exactly it's celebrated and everything. It was such a great time. time, and the romance was also really adorable. Next is The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. This book is set on New Year's Eve, so it's not strictly Christmas, but it is, you know, around that time of year, and it is set in an airport, and it follows two characters who are stuck in this airport because there's so much snow, there's been this major blizzard, but the one character, she is kind of struggling because it's going to be the anniversary of her best friend's death, and that is going to be on New Year's Day, so she's obviously having a really hard time, and she has her phone, like she has on her phone this text message, which would be the last words that her best friend ever said to her, and she hasn't read it for a year. It's been a year since, and she has not opened it. But then she ends up running into this guy at the airport, like physically, and they switch phones, so she's all panicked. But it's basically the two of them and also like a bunch of other characters stuck in this airport, and you get to see the story behind everyone and everything. It was a really, really good read. This is one that I've been recommending for quite a while now, and it is one that I will continue to recommend because I really loved it. Next is 10 Blind Dates by Elston. This is so freaking cute because it is a story where you have this character, she is expecting this amazing Christmas break, and she's going to be spending it with her boyfriend. It's going to be great, but then he ends up breaking up with her. So she goes and she's staying with her grandma and like some family, and essentially her family ends up planning these 10 blind dates for her over the course of the holidays. And it is just so fun. Like, they're hilarious, Christmassy, the family in it, everything just was a check mark from me. I really, really love this one. It is so good. It is YA, so it is more of like a fade to black romance, but it still is adorable. Next is Nick and Noelle's Christmas Playlist by Cody Hall. I read this one last year and wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, but I'm so glad that I picked it up because it is a friends to lovers, like best friends to lovers romance that is following a character who her family owns this Christmas tree farm. So it's like set on a Christmas tree farm. Everything about it is Christmassy. It had so many great Christmas vibes, but also this amazing friendship that turned into an adorable romance. Everything about it was so cute. Like, the chemistry between them, I really felt it. And this was one I was just able to fly through so quickly because I was in it to win it. Like, I wanted them to get together. I was so invested, and the payoff was absolutely amazing. Next is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares and Mind the Gap, Dash and Lily by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. So there is actually a book set between the two of these, but I personally didn't really like that one, so I would just say go for these two. So this is the first book, this is the second book. This one is set in London, this one is set in New York, and you might be familiar with it because it did come out as a Netflix TV show a couple years ago now, and Netflix actually nailed that adaptation, as they often do, to be honest. It was so adorable. I actually just started rewatching it now, but it was really, really well done and has all of the like Christmas in New York vibes, but also an adorable romance. So you're following Dash and Lily, obviously, and Lily has left this notebook at the Strand bookstore for someone to find, and Dash ends up finding it, and it's just this whirlwind romance between the two of them. It is so cute, and I feel like this one had the same sort of vibes, just set in London, and that's why I really loved both of them. Next is The Matzah Ball by Jean Meltzer. This is also adorable. I feel like I've said adorable a million times, but like, it's true. So the Matzah Ball follows the main character who is a Jewish woman, but she actually has a secret, and that is that she is the author of like best-selling Christmas romance books. So she is just like this Jewish woman who loves Christmas and doesn't want to admit it to her family because she is the daughter of a very prominent rabbi, and she like doesn't want to embarrass anyone. She doesn't want to be judged, but her publisher has been asking her to actually write a Hanukkah themed romance book, and she has been so reluctant, but then she finally agrees to it. And it is set at this Matzah Ball, which one of her childhood enemies is like running it, so she has to interact with him a lot. So we have a little enemies to lovers, a little Christmas, a little Hanukkah. It's so great. Next is The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. This is so cute. I feel like I have read a million different Christmas romances that are set in the UK, and this is another one of them. I don't know what it is, like the combination, why it always happens, but it does. But this one is about a girl who is going on these like 12 different blind dates at Christmas time, her friends sign her up for this service, and they're all sorts of like different festive themed things, and she's trying to find her perfect match right before Christmas. And it's like the service that basically promises to do that for you. So she's on a date with like a different person every time, but they go to all of these different like Christmassy activities. So it's so fun, has all of the Christmas vibes, has amazing characters like the friend group I really loved, and yeah, I just had a great time with this one. And my last holiday book recommendation that I have for you guys today is One Day in December by Josie Silver. So this is actually a book that is set not only at Christmas, it like starts around Christmas, but then it is set all across like years and time and holidays, and you're following characters who, it's kind of a really like complicated romance story. It's very sad at times and like definitely a really tough situation, but I loved these characters and I loved their chemistry and their love story, and following it over such a long period of time. You guys know by now I am an absolute sucker for that. If something is set over an extended period of time, I'm pretty much immediately like, yes, that is going to be amazing, because I love like just, I feel like I get so connected with the characters, and that's exactly what happened in this one. So I had a great time with this, and I think it is a great like Christmas read, but also any time of year read, to be honest. Okay, so those are all of the holiday book recommendations that I have for you guys today. I hope it helped out, and please do let me know if you have any other holiday recommendations. And thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to click that subscribe button and then click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post. I'm going to be posting a new video every single day for the entire month of December, so if you don't want to miss any of those, then you should definitely do that. But tomorrow for Bookmas Day 3, I forget, am I going to be, oh god, I can't remember what I'm doing. They're all getting mixed up. We're back. I'm going to be talking about my wish list recommendations. So essentially on Instagram, I asked you guys if like you needed any recommendations for your own wish list or something to get for someone else, and I'm going to be giving those to you tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But thank you once again so much for watching. This ending has been a bit of a mess, but I will see you tomorrow for Bookmas Day 3. Bye!